one of your sports or hobbies is also surfing.
Yes.
And did you observe any phi ratio in surfing?
Well, I think waves may, generate phi ratios. I'd have to look into it. I am not sure, but I haven't thought of it this way. Maybe I should. Maybe it would improve my surfing. So, maybe I should cut my surf into phi ratios and so on.
Well, I think what's happening is as the wave is tubing, for instance, and then there's that push out of the blowhole sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm open to it. I have to look into it. I'm unsure.
It could be why you're attracted to it, besides it's energetic and relaxing.
Yeah, I think for me it's really important that I keep a balance between the mental work, which I do a lot of, and the physical work, and that I have, I'm able to go out. When I'm at home, I go out every morning. I sit on my board and I look at sunrise and catch a few waves, and that puts me in that mode that I was talking about earlier, that mode of relationship with nature, of communion with nature, and then from there I'm able to do my meditation, start my day, and have a sense of my source, from which my day unfolds, and at the same time it keeps my body in health, and that I think is really crucial, and it's overlooked by scientists all the time, meaning that if you let the body degrade, then and you're taking care mostly only of your mind, then you kind of get stuck in little boxes and so on, and your body starts to degrade, and maybe your thinking is not as clear as it should be, and you might actually extrapolate all sorts of things that are not necessarily significant to nature, just because you're so separated from it. You're in some kind of cubicle in some institution with neon lights on, for 10 hours a day, and the rest of the time you're at home, doing some more physics, and you can extrapolate the whole world, but it may have nothing to do with nature. So for me it's really important to keep that balance, to keep that connection, and that's why I do sports. It provides me all the pieces I need, so that when I apply my mind to solving a difficult question, I can draw from those experiences of of communion with nature.
Keeps you vital.
It does. It keeps me young. It keeps me vital, and it keeps me sharp as well, because nature as a way to keep humility up. When you go out surfing, certainly for me, especially with surfing, because surfing is fairly new sport for me. It definitely keeps my ego in check, because nature has a way to do that, to make sure that who's the boss, and that's a wonderful thing. It's a great place to come from when you're working with the universe, trying to understand it, trying to interact with it, to produce new technology and all this. It's a really good thing to keep a high level of humility.
One of the things that's become a little apparent, and I hope I'm not being too personal, some people find learning a little difficult. Did you have any of those difficulties in your younger days? Is there something that
Oh yes,
that you could encourage others to get over? especially the young?
Yeah, it was very difficult for me to learn in the context of the institutions that we have here. The educational structure just didn't work for me. I wasn't the kind of person that could easily sit at a desk for 8 hours a day and listen to a lecture and retain most of it. That was just terrible for me. It was important for me to be outside, to be in nature, to connect, and to come up with my own thoughts and you know, do things that I was excited about. I saw no reason to do things that I thought were not necessary for me. So, you know, if I had anything to say about that, I would encourage parents to look for alternatives to this typical standard educational system for their children, because children learn naturally. You know, if the educational system should be there to just provide the resources to children for whatever they want to learn. And you know, while they're learning what excites them, they're probably going to learn how to calculate, and they're probably going to learn how to write and all this, but they're doing it because they're excited about something. And I think that's completely been missed in the educational system, and that's why at this point they have to drug, you know, a large portion of the students so they're not all frigidity and they can sit there and listen to this stuff. I think it's a completely wrong approach.
So you'd like to see a sense of excitement to keep your attention going?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the educational system today is like a prison for children, and I see no reason to put your children in a prison. You know, like I said, naturally children are interested, they're curious, they want to learn, and if you foster that, they learn on their own. I have a 4.5 years old child that has more vocabulary than many of the adults I know, is able to start reading already, that he's able to start calculating already. He knows all of the planets of the solar system. He knows what a tetrahedron, an octahedron, well, that might have to do a little bit with his father, but you know, naturally kids are interested, and if you allow them to learn at their own rhythm and to learn things that they're excited about, then it's not a chore, and it's a natural development, and in that way they are able to bring their gifts forward, and we can support them in bringing their gifts forward instead of assuming they have nothing to give. They are like a blank slate, and we gotta feed them all this information, which, you know, in many cases we don't even know how accurate is the information we're feeding them, and so on. So I think, you know, it's crucial that the educational system gets an overhaul, like really at deep level, like to examine what is the purpose of education in the first place, and if the purpose is that a being has a joyful, successful sense of themselves, and that they are, you know, able to do what they enjoy doing, to be in their dharma, to be in their joy for the rest of their life, then I don't think that sitting them down 8 hours a day for some 18 years of education is going to do the job. All right? I think that allowing them to discover their gifts and supporting them in doing that, and taking an attitude that's a little different from saying we're going to teach you something, but to say, hey, what are you excited about? What would you like to learn about? And here's the resources if you want to do that. You want to learn about fishing. Okay, here's a fishing pole. You're going to need this, you're going to need that. Oh, you know, you're going to have to count how many tackles you have and all this stuff. And then they learn everything they need to learn as they get to do what they love to do. And You know, I think adults should be able to do that, and so should children.
So instead of battery hens, you'd rather see free range.
Yes, free range, exactly.
Free range education.
Free range education. That maybe we could start something new. That's a great saying. I think that is crucial that we do this. That we free our children from the prison we've put them in, and you'd be surprised. I mean, like I said, it's when you see those kids that are able to do what they are excited about, they thrive and they're joyful, and that's what's important. Are my kids having fun? Are they joyful? Are they excited about life? Are they excited about learning? And when I look at the kids that go to school every day, that's not what I see.